Hey there. Well, how would you have liked to take a cruise on the Carnival Cruise Splenda? Um, it just docked today. Uh, a lot of you know this if you watch the news like I do, but for those of you who don't, Carnival Cruise Splenda set out on Monday for a 7-day cruise, and it had over 4,000 passengers. And on the first day, the engine burned out. Uh, some of the passengers on there are saying that the crew, though they were very friendly and professional, had told them that there was that they had a flameless fire. And this one woman said that she knows wherever there's smoke, there's fire, and there was smoke. But anyway, I guess they wanted to keep the passengers calm. So they sat on the cruise ship in the ocean for 4 days. Now, without power, you know it's going to be pitch dark in your cabins. No electricity, you have no air conditioning. No electricity, the elevators don't work. No electricity, no way to cook food. No electricity, the pumps don't work. The water pumps, which means no water, which means you can't shower and you can't flush your toilets. They said that toilets were overflowing. You know that's going to leave a foul odor. It's basically like a floating Katrina for a few days. A helicopter had to come over and bring in supplies for them. They gave them Spam and Pop-Tarts. But they said they had to stand in long lines just to get something to eat. One man said that before the Spam and Pop-Tarts were lowered, that the crew was making mayonnaise sandwiches, and he said he didn't eat mayonnaise, but he had to eat something. So he was forced to eat a mayonnaise sandwich. Me personally, I can eat a good old mayonnaise sandwich, but that's just not everybody's taste. And certainly not something you would want to eat on a cruise ship. So, Carnival Cruises is refunding everybody's money. They are arranging their flights back home and paying for those and offering a free cruise in the future. A lot of people probably won't take that free cruise. This is my theory, though. Things are going to happen, no matter what. Things are going to happen. Just like you might be on a plane and have to turn around and come back because something happens or whatever, you know. Things are not going to be perfect. However, I believe that a cruise, especially a cruise ship, should have thought about this and should have thought to itself, well, what if something like this was to happen? What would we do? And have a plan. They should have a whole compartment in that ship dedicated to nothing but emergency supplies, the what ifs, and what do we do. The people said that they had to stand in long lines just to get something to eat, just to get Spam and a Pop-Tart. There were elderly people that couldn't climb the steps. Somebody had to carry them up and down the steps because there was no elevators. The diabetics were crying because, you know, diabetics have to eat often. They were crying because there was nothing to eat. The diabetics' insulin, they ran out of ice packs. They couldn't keep their insulin cold. It was just a mess. And now I know things happen, like I said. However, I would hate to think that this all happened because of budget money. To where they were told, cut corners on this, cut corners on that. You know, just patch things up where you can just to save the almighty dollar. And then henceforth, this is what happened. If that's what happened, then they deserve what they get by having to fork out so much money. It always happens that way. When you try to rig something, it's going to end up costing you more in the long run. If this is what happened on that cruise, then I think the people on the cruise have a lawsuit. I believe they do. If they find out that it was actually budget money and budget cuts that caused this whole thing to happen. That's just my opinion. Now, in the Zara Baker case, I was watching on the news a little bit earlier. They have found bones, they said. You know, you know, they found that bone last week or so, and they said that they still don't have the results on that. I believe we all know, though. They've been in the pond. They said that they dug up a hole, and they have found bones. The way they talk, they may as well just go ahead and say they found a body. It's been sent off to the medical examiner. Her biological mother is on her way from Australia to the United States. They said she should be here tomorrow. And I suspect that they won't, if it is Zara Baker, they probably won't say anything until her biological mother is here and gets the news firsthand, and then they'll announce it to the public. And if not, that's the way it should be. But I hope it is her. First of all, you hope that she's still alive, but that's not likely. So I would hope that it is her, so that she can finally be laid to rest. But we got to remember, if it's not her, it's somebody. And who would that somebody be? I believe it is little Zara Baker, though. Bless her heart, only 10 years old. She's got a birthday on the 16th of this month, too. She would have been 11 years old. And it's just a sad, sad situation. And one more thing that was in the news, and I saw this last night on the news, and I haven't been able to find anything online or anything about it. But they was talking about a woman was found in her closet. She was dead in her closet, blood covered, and her baby, her 1-year-old baby, was crawling around in the closet with her. But the stepson called 911 and said he found a stepmother in the closet, and she had shot herself and killed herself. Well, when they got there and examined everything, sure enough, she was laying there dead, covered in blood, but there was no gun. How could she shoot herself without a gun? So she was sent to the coroner's office. The coroner examined her and said that she had blunt force trauma to the head, which apparently somebody had beat her over the head again and again and again and put her in that closet. They say that, you know, naturally the husband's going to be the first one they look at, but they said the husband was out of state, but that the husband did have a gambling problem. So they're wondering if maybe that had something, he might have owed somebody some money, and that's what happened or whatever. I don't know. If I find out anything else about that, I'll let you know. And if you've already heard about the case and know anything more than what I've said, you leave a comment and let me know. Anyway, so I guess that's going to be it for now. And until next time, bye-bye. Maybe.